a major career highlight.
Yeah.
And then there was when So World A1, who was one of the rappers from the duo Leverage. He won the verse of the month on the show verse of the month on SPeeKa Live.
Yeah.
That was mind blowing for me. So if you remember a verse of the month, that's when the GOAT Stogie T gets to listen to verses that came out that month, and then he rates the top 10.
Yeah.
So for that month, this was 2019.
Yeah.
For that month, it was the month of June. Stoke in his top 10 best verses for the month, he put his verse that he spit in this room for the Sotra 3 anniversary. He gave that the number 1 verse for the month. And mind you, that list had Proverb on it. Cats like Proverb, I think Questa was there. So that was such a big deal to me, dog, because it validated, okay, listen, we aren't just shooting, it's not a talent show here.
Mickey Mouse bullshit.
We are rapping at that level, where one of the pioneers of what we do says, hey man, that guy, his verse for me is better than all these other guys who are in the game, who are legends, So that was a big deal and a definite career highlight. And it happened twice that year. With O-Twist. Couple months later, O-Twist got verse of the month from a verse he spit in here. Same story. Big names on that top 10. He made it to number 1. So yeah, that's yeah.
Highlight.
Right? That's definite highlight. And then what else? There was the TV show that we did, r.i.P Records, that we shot with Where's the Beef Media. So that was another definite highlight in my career in terms of like r.i.P and SA hip hop culture and stuff, definite highlight. And then obviously, like I mentioned, winning the 10K challenge, definite career highlight. This was in 2017. And then before that, what else? Before that, the whole season scoop era.
Yeah.
The full clip.
Yes.
Definite.
You were giving cocaine to these rappers, bro.
Definite highlight.
You were slanging.
Oh man, that was those were the golden years, man. Oh, that was cause another thing, I feel like for me, man, getting validation from people that you look up to will always, like,
validate
will always hit home, because the full clip hosted by Sizwe Dlomo and Scoop Makasini, I look up to these guys. Like, to me, they're like these gods. So
gods of the game.
So the first time I heard C's on YFM, asking himself, hey guys, who's the SPeeKa kid? Hey, this boy is nice. So just hearing this guy that I admire and I look up to, just first of all acknowledge that I exist. There's a guy that he now knows there's a kid called SPeeKa who makes beats. That in itself is what? And then the fact that he thinks I'm dope. So that whole era, and that's pretty much where most people first heard about me. It was during the season scoop full clip era.
And all these cats at that time, they were not trying to be otherwise. They were not trying to give you an attitude. They were just coming for the beats, going to radio. Coming for the beats, going to radio.
Yeah. So, and then before that, a career highlight, which is probably, I'll put it up there with Stogie showing up here. I'll put it on that same pedestal. Was my relationship with the guys from I'll put it up there with Stogie showing up here. I'll put it on that same pedestal. Was my relationship with the guys from the soil, right? Why? Because up until then, like I mentioned, I wasn't too inclined technically. I was just having fun making beats, and I didn't care about the technical side of it or whatever, you know. But when I first met those guys, and I was fortunate enough to sit in on their rehearsals, you know, and just listen to the language they were using with each other.
Were they preparing to come and record with you?
No. Just when they were just rehearsing for performing.
Oh yeah.
I would just listen to what they were saying to each other. You know, like for example, if maybe they're singing and then one of them goes slightly off key, and then the other guy would tell, like maybe for example, Unsega would like tell something like, nah dog, I think we should change that key there. That kind of language, it did not exist in my head.
Yeah.
Like, you're off key. Like, what does he mean off key?
I'm just flowing.
You know, because to me, I'm listening, I'm like, wow, these guys sound amazing. And they stop abruptly. And they're like, no, let's change that part. I was like, but I never said it out loud. I just said it in my head like, but that sounded amazing. Perfect. What are you talking about that? You know? But the more I listened, like, oh, and I started to now pick up, oh yeah, I understand what he was saying when he said they should try this. Now this makes more sense. So that, it sharpened my ear just as a producer. Now, when I came to a point where I was making beats, I was able to go, nah, I'm off key here. You know, that is based on my experiences with those guys. Because if I hadn't met them, I probably wouldn't have gotten better, but it would have taken me longer.
When was this?
This is 2008-9.
Okay.
Yeah, because I met them like late 2007, but we started, you know, being in each other's spaces a lot 2008-9.
Yeah.
So during that period, I was at school, I was listening, taking mental notes, without even realizing that I was, you know, because with me, I was just, I'm hanging out with these super talented guys. And also it was my relationship with them that led to me meeting your MaSEVEN, X-Ray, Red Button, you know. So they are, if you want to talk about my,
not even rapping.
No. Yeah. So if you want to talk about my origin story, if there is no the soil in that story is not complete. There is no SPeeKa there, you know. So they are like,
they put you on key,
you know. Now you know, I know what off key, and then they introduced me to all these other guys that I would end up collaborating with for years to come. And yeah, they are the career highlights. And even back then, you know, I was sort of like feeding off of their confidence in their own talent, you know. Because I remember I used to follow them around with the camera, you know. I remember interviewing them once. This is like 2009. And I remember on camera, I think I still have the footage here somewhere. And I remember asking the guys, like, so guys, what's the plan? You know, going forward, like, what are you guys planning to do? And I remember Ntega on camera saying, in the next 2 years, we're going to be performing all over the world. I think he said in the next 5 years. No, 5 years, 2 years, we're going to be performing in all stages. This is 2009 when he said this on camera. And sure enough, dog, the next year they got signed to Native Rhythms. And 2 years later, they were in France. They were in the States, you know. So that belief in their work and themselves, and yes, we are doing this, we are going to sign these autographs, we're doing this.
We're not going to mind the gatekeepers.
What gatekeepers? We're doing this, you know. So I sort of borrowed some of that energy, you know. It stayed with me. So yeah, they are they are an important and a very, very important part of my journey.
But
very
what can a
important.
tree be without a soil? What can the tree that SPeeKa be
It
without
needs
a
the soil.
Yeah.
You know, it needs the soil to put the seed in.
Yeah. What we can anticipate in the next few?
What, months, weeks?
Let's say months. Like what December? Are you planning on dropping anything before Xmas?
There's a tape that I did, an EP that I did with Chaka Dolla.
Yeah.
It's called Loktion Therapy. Yeah, Loktion Therapy.
Yeah.
It's fire. Yeah, but we just haven't been. We've been like it's been done for like the past year or something.
Yeah.
But we just haven't found a proper way to like distribute it and push it. But I think once we get that sorted, hopefully soon,
yeah.
the EP should be out.
You're depriving us of some therapy, James. Come on.
Yeah, ish.
Get it out.
You know. Yeah, but besides that, there's just some other stuff that I'm working on. Probably won't drop in the next few months,
Yeah.
but next year I'll definitely be dropping some stuff. I'm working on a project with Mtizo as well. I'm working on his album,
Yeah.
and yeah, as soon as that's done, it's gonna drop. Won't be in the next few months though, but we have like a few joints.
Yeah.
They just need to be like mixed and mastered. Yeah, and that's gonna be fire as well.
Yeah.
And then I also plan on doing like dropping singles.
Yes.
You know, so you might get a single
In 2022.
in 2022. You might get a single.
When?
But dog. You'll see. I don't know, November or something, December. I don't know.
Whose single is it likely to be?
It's my single featuring
The Cats.
the Cats.
It's DJ Khaled
Yeah.
featuring the Jay-Z's.
It's not DJ Khaled. I make the beats from scratch. Me.
Oh, gosh, Khaled doesn't do that.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, he used to be a beat maker at some point. I'm not sure if he still does, but with him, it's mostly he makes the stars align.
Yeah.
You know, like, yeah. But eventually, in like when I start saying now I want to stop making beats professionally, I'm gonna be a DJ Khaled at some point. I'm gonna buy a beat from a beat maker, get artists on it, pay the beat maker, pay the artist, make that my single. Bam! Maybe add a little bit of production, but that's the eventual goal. I've done enough beats in my lifetime,
Yeah.
and now I wanna work with other producers and have my name on their stuff.
Yeah.
Eventually, but yeah, I'll well, the thing about me is I will make it known that this is a SPeeKa song, but this beat was made by so and so. You know, I'm gonna make a lot of noise because I'm I'm a producer, so obviously,
Yeah.
I know what producers cry about. Like, we don't get recognition, we don't get credit. You know, so me being as someone who is a producer and understands that same frustration, best believe I'm going to be out there in the forefront. This song of mine was produced by so and so. Check him out, go buy his beats, Okay. So eventually that's where I'm going to get at. My biggest inspiration in life, I guess, is the pursuit itself. The pursuit of creating something that other people would hopefully benefit from keeps me inspired. That, and yeah, my daughter inspires me, dog. Yeah, she definitely inspires me in the sense that I wanna keep trying and to be better, so that she can have a dad to brag about. She definitely inspires me. Other creatives inspire me. But overall, the journey to like create and be better at what I do Yeah, that keeps me inspired. And obviously the guys that I follow whose work live in my head. Your Dr. Dre's, your Kanye's, your T-Rex, Pikiri, Duma Silela, Dome, oh man, I can go on, Dr. Timbaland, you know, even my peers, Infectist, you know, Slick With It, you know, Tweezy, those guys like.
But when Dr. Dre was he's over SPeeKa, Dr. Dre was you know that even if we don't like being called Dr. Dre was but they're accurate to be associated, to have your name associated with someone that big.
Yeah, I think it's because I'm a super fan of Dr. Dre. Like I wear that on my sleeve. Like, you know, I always talk about the amount of influence that his work has had on me, because of all the guys that I follow, of all the guys that inspire me, I draw from him more than. So I think maybe someone picked that up and just ran with it. I think it goes beyond the beat making, then it also crosses into your hustle, your business, and the effort you put. Yeah, so I like to believe that the only reason they call me that is because of how much I am inspired by Mr. Andre Young, and obviously music style wise, a large part of my catalog, there's heavy Dr. Dre influences. So maybe I think that's why they call me the Dr. Dre. In 2009, you asked the soil a question: where will you be in 2 years? Where will you be in 3 years? Where is this going? So where will SPeeKa be in the next 3 years? In the next 3 years, I'm going to be buying beats from beat makers and putting them on and making music the way your Khaleds do it, you know. In 3 years, I will be signing cats, you know. Probably less than 3 years. Yes. Probably less than 3 years. Yes. It could be 2 years. Yeah, I was literally talking about this like yesterday. You know, talking about the cats that if I had the power now, if I had the power, I'd sign them like this. You don't want to steal any of your cats, but who is the one cat that you would sign now if the $1 million was on the table? There are a few. You can mention up to 4 or 5. But top of my list, if I had the budget, the everything right now, Ntombela, no question, no question, I'd sign him now. Is he based in Jozi now, Ntombela, or is he? Yeah, he's based in Joburg. Awesome. I featured him in my set at Back to the City during the cypher. So, yeah. One of those cats that I had in that cypher, I'd sign all of them. Ntombela, Mtizo, Mrecha, LK, Ferguson. I'd sign all of them. Sign them. I'd sign producers. I'd sign Morse Code. You know. I'd sign Slick With It. If he's not signed already. I'd sign Infectist. Obviously, I would sign Infectist. I would sign etc. There's a lot. Darky. Sfili, I'd sign Sfili. Definitely sign Sfili. Sfili, dog. The thing is, and this is what most people are missing, because they're used to Sfili's mentality, you know, that crazy, But Sfili, if I'm keeping it 100, like he's probably one of the more focused in the Ikasi rap scene. Thank you. You know, lately, this year in particular. This year, like these past 2 years, he's focused. He's about the work, you know. So yeah, you know, Knox also, I would sign him. Frost, man, this label would be a mess. this label would be a mess. But
you'll be finding them, most of them, the names you're mentioning, those cats have been cooked. Those cats have matured nicely.
Man, so if I had $1 million right now, I'd sign you, man. So many.
MaSEVEN,
I'd sign MaSEVEN. Because I feel like
he's already in the house.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going
Chaka, Dolla, they're already in the hood.
Like with 7, it would just be a matter of, because we've done so much work together, our back catalog, we just put that up and redistribute and eat from it. Huh? Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, so 7, because of everyone that I've worked with, I've got the most joints. I even remember the first time we worked together. First, you want me to tell that story?
Yeah, please. This one we want to hear. Everybody wants to hear this.
Yeah. Shout out to MaSEVEN. So the first time.
Is it Obse or Obse?
Obse. So, this is now 2008.
Yeah.
Remember I mentioned that I first met the soil, and then through the soil I met everyone else.
Yeah.
Right? Your MaSEVENs, your red buttons, and what have you. So what was happening at the time, I had this song that I was working on called Phakamis Ikasi. It's on my first mixtape that I dropped in 2010. So the song features the soil, red button, MaSEVEN, and X-ray, right? So that was the first time I recorded MaSEVEN. So he came through. I remember it was on a Friday afternoon, and then this was when I knew I'm going to be working with this guy for a while, because he pulled up. There was a bunch of us in studio. We were recording that day, and then he wrote his first verse in studio, and then we recorded it, and then played it a couple of times, and then eventually I asked him, like, can you write another verse? It's more, because I don't think this one is nice, but yeah. And then but what I said to him was, but you can come back, see record a V. He was like, nah, Pala, no. This is now 8:30 in the evening. He's like, nah, dog, so Pala, no. So I'm like, I lay a force,
He understands what you are happy. He understands that he has to have to write.
So I'm like, this guy, why doesn't he want to just come back another day? But he was like, dog, I'll write this. So that immediately was like, damn, Espa, no money, So, and it's a short verse, like 8 bars. And then so he finished writing it, and then we recorded it. And mind you, this guy still had to go to Shawela, right? And this is before Ubers, so you can't request. So there's no taxis. How is he gonna get to a show? He's like, nah, kulega. I'm gonna walk.
Fuck.
From Clan to Shawela. So that I was like, damn, this guy. And he's like, he's chilled, he's not stressing, he's not he's like, nah, we're here for the work, and I'll walk. And sure enough, we recorded the verse that you hear right now on that song. Is a song we recorded late at night at like 10, 11. After recording, he walked to Shawela, got there safely, spoke the next day, bike ran, we nice. From there, that's when we recorded. We went crazy with it. So yeah, that was my first time.
He's been hungry, MaSEVEN.
Cool. Yeah, definitely. Definitely.
Hungry. That's why in the traction yaki kulu.
Yeah, no. He definitely puts in the work, dog.
Yeah.
I mean, we've had differences in the past.
MaSEVEN always has differences.
We've had, but we squashed that. And the one thing, even when we were sour at some point, but the one thing that I never stopped acknowledging was like his level of skill and his work ethic. Spana, you know. So that's the one thing that no one can take from him, you know.
Okay.
And I know this firsthand.
Chaka Dolla, yana.
Chaka
What
Dolla.
experiences working with Chaka Dolla? You have a project with him. That's why
Yeah.
I'm specifically asking.
Chaka Dolla, the biggest takeaway you should know about Dolla is that him and Sfili
Yeah.
are masters of doing it in one take. Yeah, one take. Record the whole verse from start to finish once. Done. Next one. Maybe once or twice he'll mess up, and then he will continue. But most of the time,
Yeah.
it's one take. So he's definitely someone who takes the process of knowing your scripts. Yeah. So I have a top 3 masters of the one take.
Yeah.
In no particular order.
F all the street talk, F all the street walk. Me and by the paper, man. I ain't blinded by the street lights, living the street life. Me and by the paper, man. Oppositions and them snitches, I got them under control, man. You see me? I stay focused, man.
All day, me, my nigga, don't really catch you still. Yo, lyrical, my ball, I'm a tamar. Haba fort, Bafeleleli,